up, big up to all those out there. I'm Liverpool 12th Man. It's Liverpool 12th Man show. I am doing a pretty cool show today. It's definitely going to contend with tomorrow's show too, for sure, because I'm pretty excited about both these shows. Actually, they're fun shows. This one's just a mid review, a mid year review of the summer signings, if to kind of gauge where we are with signings in the league. And I only did the top half of the table, but I also only included a certain number of signings because, I started looking at this originally and I was saying, oh my goodness, you start looking at all of the names on the list and all of a sudden it can get overwhelming pretty quick. So, excuse me. So I have put together a little tier list of the rankings, I guess you could say. And I also wanted to utilize your help to basically come up with what and who we think is supposed to be on this list, or should be on this list, or should be at least tiered on this list to be where they should be. So with that said, I will bring this up so we can start to have at it. All right, so all right, so this is the list. Let me make sure you can see all of it here. This is the list that we have. Basically, what I did again, I did it the top 10 and basically, or the top half of the table, and I went in order from 10, 9, 8, 7, blah, 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 to obviously top of the league to you, this club right here. So I ended up doing that as the order. So it's going to be an interesting list. I would love to see. Big up Nigel, big up the Red for Life. Definitely could use some help on some of these selections, because you know why? Because honestly, some of these guys, I've been watching a good number of games. I mean, obviously, I don't watch every last individual game of the Premier League. I usually watch teams that we're about to face. If I haven't watched it live, I'll watch replays of the games that we're going to be playing, of the teams that we're going to be playing, so I can get a good sense of who's in form, who to look out for in our next opponent. And also, I tend to even look at, obviously I watch our games, Liverpool games, 3, sometimes 4 times over. Pick up John Conway. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Hope that you're well. Hope the family's well out there. So I am looking at some interesting selections, I'm sure, by you guys as well. There's a couple of different ones that we can do. So basically, there's 5 different categories. Coin toss I made it as simple as possible so that there's no grades, there's no numbers, there's none of that stuff. Simple as possible. There's 5 different categories. There's the top category and the bottom category, and then there's the middle category, which is, top is signing of the window, but definitely incredible signing, needle mover and everything. Big up Brian. Hopefully Brian, you can stick with me on this one, because I definitely will need some help on some of these selections. The second tier would be good business, meaning it was a good signing, not the greatest of signing, but definitely a good signing. And then coin toss obviously is average, meaning like coin toss being like a 50-50, or who knows, it's half and half. And then mid AF, you can all fill in what AF means, but mid meaning below average. And then hope you kept the receipt, meaning if you probably are looking to return this player because this player is not cutting the grade. So again, I put together this list. I didn't include all players because, for instance, with let's say Newcastle, for instance, they've got a lot of players that were in the list, or even Chelsea, which was even worse. Chelsea was Chelsea was the number of signings that they've made and the number of obviously exits that they had from their team, but the number of signings Chelsea had was like ridiculous. I mean, I only included I think I only included like 6 of their players. Yeah, six guys of theirs. But I mean, there was at least 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. They had like 18 guys alone. So they could have done their own, mid-year review of their signings alone. So yeah. So let's just jump into this. I'm going to get into this. So let's go with Sandro Tonali. I thought Sandro Tonali was an excellent deal, excellent signing for them initially. All right. And if you guys want, you can say, if you want to do like make it easy for you, like you could do one if you think the player is like a top signing, and 5 if you think he's a bottom signing, if he's a bottom tier signing, and then obviously anything in the middle. So 2, 3, 4 as being 3 being the middle. So or actually, you know what? How about we make it we'll make it that way. It's just let's just stick with it. So what would keep the receipt for Tonali? Brian, you gotta tell me why. Is it because he got caught cheating? Obviously, we could say what we want about like some of these signings as well, but that's interesting because Tonali's a good player. I'm not saying obviously you're not saying he's a good player, he's a bad player, but are you saying it because he he got caught cheating and he's done? Total disaster. He's banned for a year. Yeah. I feel you. How about anybody else? Anybody else got any ratings for Tonali? There's a bunch of names, so I'm not going to spend too much time on a lot of the players. I'm going to try to go through them as quickly as possible. But I think total disasters is fair. Tonali gets Red for Life says Tonali gets a coin toss. He says he is okay. So let me see this. So Brian said total disaster. Man, he's banned for a year, and then Red for Life said Tonali's a coin toss for him because we didn't get to see too much of him because of the ban. Great player, yeah, really good player, but disaster transfer. I mean, to be able to utilize him for what they utilized him for in the beginning of the year, obviously Newcastle needed him, but then to have him get banned for the entire year. So hope you kept the receipt and coin toss. So, I mean, I don't even know if mid AF, is because he's not mid. He's not a mid player. I think hope you kept the receipt is better, because you know why? Because it's more of he cost his team. I agree with you, Brian. So then we move on to Harvey Barnes. How about Harvey Barnes for Newcastle? I wish our Newcastle buddies were in the house to help us with some of these ratings. But how about Harvey Barnes? Do you think Harvey Barnes has been a real addition for them? I think Harvey Barnes has played well for them when he's had the opportunities. I would say probably coin toss on Harvey. Is that fair? I think coin toss on Harvey. He hasn't been a needle mover. He hasn't been anything really super crazy for it, but I think coin toss is fair. Am I right? Am I wrong? Coin toss? Yeah, right. He looked good before the injury, but then he got injured and yeah, coin toss I think is fair. Okay. Okay, so then Livramento, Valentino. I would say, I'm going to say mid on maybe I'm being harsh because I'm thinking about our the the way that we handled him and everything else. You thought it was good business? All right, all right. I guess this is because you're looking at it from a future perspective, Brian. Is that what you're looking at it from? In the sense of, I mean, he's played decent. He hasn't been a great player per se, but I mean, it was good business in that it was a good signing for them. They're taking a promising young talent, and they're taking him obviously from Southampton, but like, filling in a role that they do need. Good business, huh? Anybody else got some votes in there for Valentino? Good business is what we're looking at right here. I don't mind good business. I don't mind good. It's tough. I mean, like, good business. I kind of leaning towards Red for Life. I mean, you gotta tell me. Let's say he's one for the future, but he's played really well when Burn was out. I think that we kind of cooked him when we played him. That's why I just remember him getting like kind of done up by like Trent and everything. Livramento, coin toss, still have to see more from him. Yeah, I think he's played on the level. I can understand what you're saying, Brian, when he say that he's good business for the future. He's definitely got a lot of promise. Big up Rasta Crab. Big up Rasta Crab. Rasta Crab and I were going back and forth a little bit with the Lucho discussion yesterday, but it's all good. It's all good. Lucho's not on this list, so you don't have to worry about that part. But big up the Rasta Crab representing Beijing Reds TV to the fullest for sure. Let's see. I put, all right, so Livermento, I put it. I'm going to keep my coin toss. I can understand where Brian is going with the sense of good for the future, but I just think that, like, I think he's played on the level of Barnes, and I mean, like, I think he's played on the level of Harvey Barnes this year. He's good for the future. Good, I can understand good signing, but like, I just don't think he's been like so exceptional that he is. Rasta Crab, what we're doing today is basically we're doing a mid-year review of the Premier League top half of the team. Top half of the table, excuse me. So big up JK, big up JK. So we're just doing like a review of the summer signings, and we're doing some of the reviews, and we're not doing all of the reviews of all the players that have been signed. Again, I mean, there's a lot of names on this list that would have been on there if that was the case. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing just a select number of players from these teams. So we're gonna move on to Chelsea, who's in 9th place. Now, 9th is going to be fun because there's some players in there that we might have some hurt feelings about, to say the least. But it begins with Caicedo. What are we feeling about Caicedo? Do we think that Caicedo was signing up the window? Was he good business for Chelsea? Was he a coin toss? Is he mid AF? Or are we saying hope you kept the receipt? I know Lavia. I already know where we're going with Lavia. I mean, that was definitely. But for Caicedo, what are we feeling? I think Caicedo's been a disappointment this year, a major disappointment. Hello, Steven. Good to see you. I think he's been a disappointment. Are we going coin toss, or are we going, wow, good business? Oh yeah, good business for Caicedo's agent. Yeah, for sure. Rasta Crab, that is for sure. Caicedo is a coin toss, but will prove good business eventually. JK is saying Tonali's bad signing for Newcastle. Didn't know about his shenanigans, but AC did. Barnes is injured, can't say good or bad. Or Lavramino is tidy, good business. How about for Caicedo, though? JK, tell me about what you guys think about Caicedo. I've got so far a coin toss from Brian. I got a vote for Caicedo's agent, and I got mid AF from Red for Life. Good. Did he say good business, or he said coin toss? Coin toss. Let's go coin toss. I think coin toss, right? He will. he will become. I mean, like eventually he will, turn out to be a good signing for them. I understand that. If you told me you're going to spend 100 and some odd, 115 million or 110 million or whatever they spent for him on a player, and he's not like, turning up trees basically. That price tag has weighed him down, majorly weighed him down. Like I agree. I know. Where are we gonna? So all right, let me double check too, because I wanna be sure to like not diss Casado. So we got a coin toss for Casado. We got mid AF for Casado, and we got what else? We got keep him. Keep the receipt. I hope you keep the receipt for Casado. Wow, that is rough. I'm gonna put a mid AF. I'll put mid AF because the price tag weighs them down, and I saw a coin toss. I started hope you keep the receipt. And I saw the mid AF. I think it's gonna be interesting for this next gentleman, Lavia. I think Lavia is pretty much a hope you kept the receipt, right? I know that he's got promise. I know I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm not saying that he doesn't have he's young enough that you can still get something in return for him. I just think that he is really, really like made a poor decision with his choice to join Chelsea. I don't even understand it, to be honest with you, because yeah, I know Lavia was hurt that we did. Lavia was hurt. That's why we didn't go for him first. I think we didn't go for him. Lavia's injured, so coin toss. Okay, you guys are being really nice to Lavia. He dissed us. He hurt us. No, just joking. I know, right? I was just saying, I mean, like, it's just the fact that Chelsea overpaid for him. I think that the reason, I mean, like, it was obvious the reason why we were holding the evaluation for him. I have to say, I would say, hope you kept the receipt for Lavia. Am I wrong on that? Like, am I wrong in rating him as a hope you? Because, like, realistically, he is not worth the money that they spent for him. He's been injured. I mean, obviously, you can't really, like, rate someone, I guess you can't take away from someone because if he's injured, you're not really giving him an opportunity. But it's one of those things where it's just like, you paid so much for him. You overpaid for him. You made an effort to get a player that you already spent. You overpaid. You paid for a player that you overpaid in the same position for, and then you play Enzo in that position. It's like it's a real head scratcher with that, and that's why I would say, it's a combination of the two, Brian. That's what I'm trying to. I'm kind of giving. It's almost like the stats and eye test thing. I'm trying to like put both into perspective in saying I'm valuing what the player, potential, what the player's worth is, and like, what was it a good deal? Did they get a good deal for him? Like permanent on what you're expecting. I know I just glitched there, but like as in like what's your like how you're evaluating them. I mean, that's how like everyone. Unfortunately, today a lot of times when you rate players, you put their price tags next to the evaluation. I'm not saying it's like that's the best way to do it or something, but I just think that you got to, for what you paid for him, considering I get he's injured, but what you paid for him, considering you bought a over $100 million player in the same position. You have players already for that position at DM. It was like one of those like, are you just doing it to spite us? That's what I felt like. I just think that I think he's a hope you kept the receipt. I really do. Looks like I've like swayed some of the chat to say the same. All right, well, how about Nkuku? All right, Christopher Nkuku, big signing, big promise. I understand all those different things about him. Has been injured. I get that. Returned, but then ended up injuring himself again or getting injured again to have to be to go out again. Definitely a disappointment under that pretense. I know you could say it's a little bit difficult he hasn't played a lot. I get it. Do you want to? Are we saying we want to skip this player? That's what we're basically saying. Is that what is not enough sample size to judge him? Yeah, he's only played one game in the league. Okay, all right. We can skip Nkuku then. We'll just skip Nkuku. Then how about Cole Palmer? I give you an NA. I got you. Let's move on to Cole Palmer. I think Cole Palmer's been either good business or maybe a signing of the window. I thought Cole Palmer has been excellent he's really blossomed and turned out to be something for Chelsea in a year where they've had nothing really to write home about. I think Cole Palmer is either good business, if not signing of the window. Yeah. He could be definitely a signing of the window. Let me make sure you can see this. Oops. Yeah, good business. So JK's got good business. Brian's got signing of the window. Red for Life's got good business, but I really don't like the kid. Yeah, something about him rubs me the wrong way. Maybe because he's a Chelsea guy, or excuse me, maybe because he's a Chelsea guy now and he was a City guy before. I think I'm leaning towards what Brian has to say though. I really think he's been a really great signing for them. All things considered, with the signings that they've made, I think he's really been good. Oh wow, you guys are all going great business. Wow. All right, I'll put him in good business, but we'll look back on this one because I think Brian and I we're both in the same mindset with. I think he's a signing signing of the window means doesn't necessarily mean he's the best signing of all these players. It just means that he's an exceptional. It means he's an A rating style signing. But yeah, he's really good. Stone cold penalty taker, yeah, for sure. For being so young and having a team where a lot of players could step up on that team to take penalties, and he's taking that role, big player for him. All right, so now we're going to go on to Nicholas Jackson. Nicholas Jackson, I think, has been a disappointment to say the least. I know he's gotten a hat trick here or there, or gotten some goals, to boost his goal rating and everything else. But I mean, for all of what we say about our beloved Darwin, oh, big up Cedric, I see you. For all what we say about our beloved Darwin, sorry, Mr. Jackson, is seriously a disappointment this year. I would go. I'm right where Red for Life is with Action Jackson. I think he's been mid to at best mid. At first he was preseason he looked amazing. Preseason he looked signing of the year. Come when it came to the actual year, he looked poor. He said Brian's so Red for Life says Action Jackson is mid AF, and then Brian is saying Nicholas Jackson, they would have been better off signing Tito. I got you. No Action Jackson, mid AF. That's funny. All right, so we got a bunch of mid AFs in there. I'm with you, man. I'm with Brian on that one. Tito Jackson for sure. Let's go. Let's get how about for Robert Sanchez? Their goalkeeper, signing from Brighton, I believe, right? He signed from Brighton. Let's see. Yeah, signed from Brighton, 20 million. No way he's mid AF. I mean, he's got some goals this year. I get you. he could be. I think he should be. I think he should be. I agree with you, Brian. I think he should be. I thought I was gonna be I thought I was gonna be harsh by saying, "Hope you kept the receipt on Nicholas." For what? For considering that they're already still contemplating bringing in another player. You know, it is what it is. Like, it was weird. I mean, 20 million pounds isn't exactly, or excuse me, not 20, 32 million pounds wasn't exactly some crazy for a striker. Isn't exactly like amazing numbers for a striker, but it is what it is. So let's say with, let me move this down too, so we don't make sure I don't put him in there. We're looking at Sanchez. I think Sanchez is their goalkeeper. I think Sanchez. He used to play for Brighton. Ex Brighton keeper. Yep, the old Brighton goalie. Yep. I still have some PTSD from when he almost tried to kill Lucho. But I don't think he's played well this year. I think that, he had an opportunity to make a movement for this year. Mid AF, looks like mid AFs, a lot of mid AFs here. Yeah, I'd say mid AF. I think that he's had a little subpar year this year for him. I think that's fair. And again, I'm not going to go through all of Chelsea. I mean, I know they had Disasi, and they've got like a whole list of players. Like, the number of players that they've had is like ridiculous. Whether it's like Angelo, some Petrovic. I'm not going through all their players. They're whack. They're I'm hoping they kept the receipt on a lot of their players, especially Disasi, who scored that goal for them against us. Bun that guy. Bun Axel. So anyway, you have a banana in your tailpipe, basically, for him, right? I didn't have Mudryk on here because Mudryk, I think, was a signing from last year, technically, right? I don't know. I think he qualified as a signing from last year. But yeah, if Mudryk is keep the receipt regardless of if he was a summer signing or not. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't think. I thought he was already I thought he was a signing already. But anyways, I didn't put Mudryk on here. I just put these 6 because there was too many players to go through. Let's move on to now. This was a free signing. This is our boy. I put him on there just as a respect. James Milner. I think James Milner is playing well for them. I think it was good business for them to get James Milner. I know some people are like kind of hot or cold when it comes to James Milner. I'm not saying we've all got respect for James Milner. Obviously, there's some of us that call him a Liverpool legend. There's other that call him maybe an icon, might be a more appropriate name for him. But I think that, he was definitely a loyal servant to Liverpool. So I have James Milner on this list, and I thought it was a good signing. I thought it was good business. Am I wrong? Am I wrong in saying that? I really think it's good business. I wouldn't say it's a coin toss for him. I think it's good business for James Milner. I don't think that's being harsh. And looks like, okay, if you guys want to let me just rate James Milner on my own, I'll put him in. Yeah, okay. Red for Life says, Millie, good business. Always good to have someone like that in the dressing room, and he always puts in a shift. Brian says, haven't seen him play for them. Okay. I've actually seen some good reviews for him, and he has played for them. He has actually played for them. I could tell you how much he's played in 1 second, but let's see. He has played for them. He's played well for them, I think, and some of the opportunities, considering how old he is too. I'm not trying to do some ageism thing, but like, he's really played well for him, I think. Let's see. I'll give you a quick synopsis on him. Let me see if I can find him now. Trying to find who's played him lately. I think he's a good signing. Perfectly fine signing for sure. I think he's been a really excellent signing for them. Yeah, I mean, like, to be honest with you, Hendo should have learned from Milner and gone to a team like that for sure. I agree with that completely. Completely agree with that. Matches. No, I want to go to lineups, and I'm just gonna give you a quick run on Milner before we move on. I know I'm not gonna spend too much time on players, but you know, I got love for Milner. So James Milner has played decently this year, it looks like, and as of late, he's played really well. Played well against Chelsea, played well against Newcastle. I'm going to say I'm going to keep him a good business. Let's go on to João Pedro. João Pedro is I thought João Pedro was a very good signing for Brighton. How do you guys feel about João Pedro? I think he was a player that wasn't even necessarily looked at as being a definite starter for them at one point. Really, I mean, there was other players that were possibilities, I guess you could say, in getting that front line or that starter position. But I mean, obviously Evan Ferguson is a talented player in himself, but he's made a concerted effort. I mean, the last game against at least like for Crystal Palace Brighton, in that Crystal Palace Brighton game, I mean João Pedro started. Ferguson didn't even get into the game. He wasn't even injured. So he says, what about Henderson's grandkids? They won't be able to. Okay, I got you. Brian says, what about Henderson's grandkids? They won't all be born millionaires now. The tragedy. What an a-hole. I think Pedro was a quality signing. I say, no worries. Pedro quality, one of the signings of the season, along with Palmer. JK says, wow, that's high praise. Okay, so we're gonna do where I'm putting them in good business, and we'll go through the good businesses and we'll figure out which one of those can be signings of the year. Then, that's how we're gonna do it. Yeah, good business. How about for Mahmoud Dahoud? I think that's who I have there. Yeah, Mahmoud Dahoud. So I think that's who this player is. I couldn't recognize. It's hard to recognize what player that was because it's not. I don't think that is. It's not. It is interesting. I would say for Brighton, Mahmoud Dahoud. I would say, I know I'm butchering the name, from Dortmund. I really haven't seen. I watched a couple of games of Brighton. Haven't seen too much of Brighton. Obviously, I watched Brighton. Yeah, he was at Dortmund, right? I haven't really watched and seen that much of him being in the lineup per se. I would go as far as to say, what are we looking at for Dahoud? I don't even know if he's played that much, really. I think he's been coin toss. Yeah. Coin toss is fair, I think. I don't think he's been horrible for them. I haven't seen really that. He hasn't had that much playing time. You're right about that, JK. He really hasn't. I mean, maybe that's a testament of how he's actually played, but you have him as mid AF until he gets to game time. Okay. That could be fair rating too. Because I don't think he's really played that much. And I mean, like, he's obviously not a starter. So, I mean, that's testament of it. I'll bump him down to mid AF. How about Carlos Baleba? Carlos Baleba, once again, another player that is starting for them. Plays on the right, plays as like a right DM for them. He's not very fit. Okay. Yeah, I'll keep him mid AF. Baleba, I don't know. Baleba. Okay, good. We don't have that many more players. Baleba's an interesting character. I'm going with coin toss on Baleba. I don't think it's anything special, anything great. I just think he's whatever. He's a starter. Obviously, he's making moves. They obviously need him and can utilize him, but I wouldn't go too crazy with that. How about for now we're getting to some fun stuff. Some of the fun sections of the ratings. Again, I'm going to start to try to pick up the pace on this. Onana, what's his name? We're moving on to the Red Devils. I think it's an easy rating for Onana. What's his name? Is definitely. I hope you kept the receipt for this brother, because he has played for what they paid for him, for what the expectations were for him, for what from what he was to what he became. Yeah, right. They're probably. But yeah, I got you, right. Ryan says they're going to sell Baleba for like $100 million. That's funny. That's pretty funny. I would say I definitely you got to keep the receipts. That's not. I don't think we have to worry about asking the ratings for that one. I think we're all under the same pretense when it comes to Onana. Yeah, he is hilarious to watch. He is comedy. He is comedy to the T. Red for Life. You're absolutely right. How about for Hoyland? How about for Hoyland? How are we rating Rasmus Hoyland, the Dane? I would say he's starting to pick up. I think Hoyland has promise for them. I think that I don't think he's a waste of money. I'm not saying he's good business, because he's still got to find his footing in the league. I know he scored a couple of goals here or there. I'm not going to say hope you kept the receipt for Rasmus. He's either coin toss, mid AF, maybe mid AF. Yeah, Hoyland mid AF. I was going to lean towards mid AF. What else you guys have? So far, there's Brian, and my vote is mid AF for Hoyland. I would say Rasmus Red for Life got him as mid AF. Yeah, let's stick there then. Mid AF it is. Mid AF it is. Let's see I would say we move on to Amrabat. Amrabat, I think, has been mid AF too, man. I think mid AF for Amrabat. Considering what they paid for him, considering what they paid for him, considering what excuse me, considering what they paid for him, considering that they needed a DM, considering that it was going to possibly try to alleviate the price. You'd put I'm getting for Amrabat. I'm getting hold the receipt. Hope you kept the receipt from Red for Life. Brian's saying NA nearly no impact. I mean, that's the point. He said he's done nothing this year. I mean, he's really. I wouldn't have even remembered a lot of what. And if anything, he looked poor in that game against us. So I think mid AF is if not hold the receipt. Are we going hold the receipt, or we're going mid AF? Looks like hold receipt. Hope you kept the receipt. Hope you kept the receipt. I'm gonna go hope you kept the receipt. I think for what they've paid. I mean, they didn't pay any crazy amount for him, but I still think that I think he's been poor this year. Overhyped, definitely overhyped. Let's move on to Johnny Evans. Johnny Evans was a free representing. This is one of the men on the island for Brian on the island of Ireland, the great island of Ireland. Got much love for Ireland. No worries, roster crap. So I was going to say for Johnny Evans, I think Johnny Evans been good business. I agree with Red for Life. I mean, like, it's kind of scary and crazy. He's a player. Obviously, he's a good player. Has had a storied career. He's sort of like a James Milner for me when it comes to contributions you're expecting. You're not expecting him to be a starter, everyday starter, but he can fill in here and there. But he's been really, like, considering he's had to be a center back, it's been a solid addition for them. He's not a negative. I think I'm going to put Johnny Evans as good business. Oh, okay. I got you. I don't know all. I do know some of the history between Northern Ireland and Ireland in general, but I get what you're saying. So I'm not even going to go there. But yeah. So yeah, I think Evans is decent. I'll put good business. How about for Mason Mount? Mason Mount is a player that we were linked to, obviously, early in the year. There were people that wanted to sign Mason Mount. I wasn't necessarily one of those that was advocating that deal. I wasn't against it completely, only because I thought, Mason Mount, I've seen him perform for Chelsea. He was Chelsea's player of the year at one point. I like what Klopp can do with players, so therefore I was kind of optimistic if we were going to go for him, but I don't know. JK Mount's disaster transfer. Yeah, right. I got you. So Mason Mount career is done. Wow, JK, bring the hammer. Brian says, who? Disaster transfer. Okay. He's going to have to go in that hope you kept the receipt category then. Mason Mount. Oh, how quickly the great have fallen. Sad. Yeah, Mount receipts made no impact whatsoever, Red for Life said. Yeah. Done and done. How about we're going to move on to West Ham. West Ham had about three players really make the move for West Ham. I'm going to begin with Edson Alvarez, the Mexican national. Previously was with Ajax. Came in for 32.8 million, around 33 million. Let's just round up. 33 million pounds for Edson. How are we feeling about Edson for West Ham? Edson Alvarez. Is it good business, or are we saying coin toss because of the price tag and everything else? I think it was good business too. So far, good business. Looks like there's a lot of good business. Red for Life says good business. I'm gonna go with good business. I think Hammers did well with a lot of their signings this summer. Excuse me. I think they did really well. I think if anything, they didn't make a lot of signings, but they made some, mid value signings in the sense of they spent 43 million euros for Kudus. They spent about 30 million for 30 million pounds for James Ward-Prowse. They spent about 33 million pounds for Alvarez. I thought they did good business this summer. So James Ward-Prowse, I would say good. I think we can all say easily good business with James Ward-Prowse, right? I think that's a good bit. And I even think Kudus could be in there for good business. I think all three of those signings were good business for them. Yeah, looks like I'm not alone on that. I think good business for all three of their players. Excuse me. I think there was like some questions for James Ward-Prowse, age, everything else, blah 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 blah. But I think James Ward-Prowse, people referenced him as maybe being just a player that can only do one thing really well and nothing really great. But yeah, I think Kudus could be signing out the window. Yeah, I'll move him over here. I'll move some of the top candidates for signing of the year to be over here. Rasta wanted James Ward-Prowse. You want to know? Yeah. I remember that actually. You saying that. Now we move on to the fifth place sitters right now. We move on to Tottenham, the Hotspurs. Hotspurs, James Madison was their big acquisition. He was at 40 million pounds. I think James Madison, it sucks that he's been, from a Hotspurs perspective, it sucks that James Madison is hurt. They definitely, everyone was taking, anyone that was going to go in for James Madison had to take that into account, that he's injury prone. He's had a history of injuries. But when he's fit and when he's able to play, he's a quality player. I think, you separate the injuries. He was one of the spark plugs, I think, for them, for the Spurs in having a good start to the year. I think it's good business all day, every day for James Madison being, he was cooking for sure. Yeah, good business. Looks like a lot of good businesses. I'm going to say, so now we move on to Pedro Porro. Pedro Porro from Sporting CP came in for 39 million pounds. Big up, KJ. Big up, KJ. Good to see you. Throat's a little dry there. Good to see you, KJ. Pedro Porro. There's been arguments. There's been those arguing, and this is just on the internet. I know that this is why the internet is a strange place at times, but there's been those that have been arguing that Pedro Porro is the best right back in the Premier League currently. There's been arguments that Pedro Porro is the best fullback, best right back in the league currently. I think Pedro Porro gets a minor deduction for his celebration against us. Call me biased, but that was mid AF right there alone. But yeah, that's what. But I'm telling you, Rasta Crab, that's what I'm in some of the forums. Especially when you talk to Spurs fans have been really, really rating Pedro Porro and been saying that he is one of the best, one of the better signings this year, and they think that he's performed better than our own Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think it's blasphemy, but all the same, I'm just repeating what I've heard. You know what, KJ? I've been making this plea too. I think I've been out there saying the same for this. I think that'd be kind of cool. I definitely wouldn't be against that. But I'll even star that comment so I can come back to it. They say, like, this might be an exaggeration to me, but he is good. That's what Red for Life says. Brian Morrissey says he's an excellent attacking fullback. He doesn't play inverted, so I don't compare him to Trent. And I get that. I'm not saying I'm comparing him to Trent, Brian. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that's what Spurs fans were saying, considering Trent does play right back / inverted halfback for us. So, but the narrative that they've been pushing a lot of days has been just that he's the best out there when it comes to it. I think they're delusional as well, Rasta Crab, who says the same. What are we rating him as, though? I got good business for Red for Life. Great business. Okay. From Brian. Okay. Okay. Pedro Porro is Windows. What is that? PP Windows? What is that? I don't know what you mean by. Oh, signing of the window. I got you. Okay. Very interesting. Pedro Porro, signing the winning candidate. All right. How about for Mickey van der Ven? I know this player's been injured a little bit. He just returned for them. I think Rasta Crab has him as a coin toss. I got you. Okay. Mickey van der Ven. I like the fact that I like van der Ven. I think he's a good player. I think he's definitely good business. I'm concerned about the fact that he has gotten some hamstring injuries, and his claim to fame is his pace. So that is concerning to me, a little bit concerning. But he is back. He ended up pulling lame in their last matchup. But I'd have to still say he's good business. Are we going? Is he? Do we want to put him as a signing of the season candidate? I don't know. I don't know about that, but I definitely think he's a good candidate. I definitely think he's good business. How about Brennan Johnson? Brennan Johnson's been good. He's a lad from Wales / England. I don't know. I think he plays for Wales. I want to say he plays for Wales national team. I don't know if he plays for England or if he plays for Wales, but I know he's got dual citizenship in the sense of that he's a Wales citizen. He's Wales nationality citizen, and he's got England's obviously English citizenship too. I think Johnson's been good, but I mean, I think Johnson has promise. That's a better way of putting it. I think Johnson has promise. Came from Nottingham Forest. Oh man, I need to get a drink. Came from Nottingham Forest, and I'm getting a coin toss from Red for Life on Johnson. I think he's been decent. I'm very close to saying good business. He'd be in the bottom part. I'm gonna put James Ward-Prowse as being a possible signing of the season too. I think James Ward-Prowse played excellent. Is coin toss too harsh for Johnson? Tell me, you guys, if you think it's too harsh, because Red for Life was a coin toss. I had him as borderline good business, maybe coin toss. Right now, yeah. Oh, keep it level has Johnson as mid AF. Wow, okay, all right. I'll keep him in coin toss then. I'll keep him in coin toss because I was going to say borderline good business, but like if you're saying coin toss and you're saying mid AF, I'll keep him in there. Coin toss, okay, yeah, I'll keep him in coin toss. That's Brian rated him as a coin toss. Okay. The next guy on this list, Vicario. I think Vicario has been good business. That was excellent business for them. I think he's been a difference maker. I think he's been a really good keeper for him. Obviously, really played well against us. Has played well against numerous teams this year. Could be. I think he could be he could argue. You can make an argument for him to be the Spurs signing of the year for them. I have to go good business with Vicario. I think he's been excellent for them. Certainly excellent for them. So and we're going to return. We're going to go back to good business, and we're going to figure out which parts of the good business get the signings of the year, signings of the window at least. But for right now, I'm going to put him in good business. But I'm tiering him the way that Brian has suggested. By putting the top more excellent business, exactly. The more excellent signings are going to go to the left, and then it'll be ranked down, tiered down from there in the good business category. So I think Vicario's been excellent business for him. I agree if you keep it level. Now we get to move on to our beloved learners. The Learning Academy have made some really big signings this year. They spent close to 200 million pounds alone on just 3 players. That's why there's talks about them trying to make another splash of cash for Tony, but if that's the case, they would most likely have to get rid of some players because there's no way that they would qualify without moving into the FFP. Or not FFP now, but profits, sustainability measures with their signings. So let's just move in. Let's just get into it. Declan Rice, big signing for them, 105 million pounds. Obviously English national, West Ham legend. Good business. I would put him as good business, despite the hefty, very, very hefty. I mean, he's definitely. I think Declan Rice's stock has kind of like, in the sense of his performances, has gone down somewhat, the same as we could say Dom's performances have this year. But I'm gonna still put him I'm still gonna put him in good business. I don't know if we're gonna say he was. I don't think he was a signing of the. I don't know if he's signing of the year for them, but he's good business. I think he's good business. Brian has all of Arsenal signing as mid AF. Okay. Why do you have Declan as mid AF, Brian? Is it because of like the similar sense of what I just said, and that his performances have kind of been a little bit subpar for considering his price? I'm sure I'll get some kickback or some pushback if I put him by a lot of the Gooners. If I'm not scared, but no scared business. I don't mess around with scared business. But like, yeah, he's overhyped by Arsenal fans. I mean, like, Arsenal fans, Gooners have him as like being the signing of the year. Rice pudding, coin toss, overpriced and overhyped. Wow. I love it. Yeah, I'm gonna be controversial. I'm putting him in coin toss. Ridiculous price for him. That was a hefty English tax placed on Declan Rice, and he's a trader. I got you. I have Timber on this list as well. I know he hasn't played. He's only played one game. So I'm going to bring Timber down to not being another NA. I mean, Timber was a big price tag for him. He was almost 40 million. I think it was 38 million. It's a disappointment to see your player get injured. He hasn't really done anything this year. So because he's been injured, so I put him as an NA. So I'll just move him down. Declan Rice. Kai Havertz, considering you spent 65 million. This is where I disagree with you, Brian. 65 million for Kai Havertz. I hope you kept the receipt. I get there is a player in Kai Havertz. I'm not saying he's a bum. But I am saying 65 million pounds for Kai Havertz. That's about what we paid for. That's about what we've paid for Darwin. It's about what we paid for Darwin. And the amount of hype that Arsenal Gooners give towards Kai Havertz. I've heard Troops. I've heard Robbie from Arsenal Arsenal television, Arsenal fan TV, AFTV, right? He is definitely having to hope you kept the receipt on him. He has played. He is not even close to 65 million pounds. Okay, last but not least for them is Raya. I thought Raya I don't understand what they were doing by picking up David Raya. I think it was like silly for them to do what they did by picking him up, to be honest with you, because it just made controversy at the goalkeeping position for them. It's brought a lot of stupid stuff in the sense of like, made people question as to like, what are we doing, with this player? Why, is that what we're doing now? Is just creating, I get the concept of bringing competition for a position or saying this player is going to be this or being that. But I think Ray has been like, I mean, he's had good games and bad for him. I just think that he's been a coin toss, if not mid AF. A lot of people have him as a coin toss. So I'm being harsh by saying he's mid AF. So I think he's been mid AF for them, really. I think he's really been mid AF. Considering that he's moved in and taken over Ramsdale's position. But yeah, you know what? I have him. I'll keep him in coin toss. I've been outvoted here, so it's all good. All good. Let's go on to who is now in the third place of the table, and that's Aston Villa. Certainly the surprise team of the year so far. Well, okay, I got you. I mean, there's some that are saying that they don't think. There's some, Brian, that are saying that they think Ramsdale is a better goalkeeper, but they think that Ramsdale is, but they think Raya is better at being a sweeper keeper. When it comes to it all. So, but I got you. We're moving on to Villa, and Moises Diaby, I think, has been difference maker for them. I think Diaby is definitely a candidate for signing of the year. I think he's played well. I think he's an excellent player. I would have liked to have seen. I think and would have loved to have seen us go for him. To be honest with you, if we gotten him, that would have been a major move for us. Obviously, he wouldn't have been a starter per se, but he would have. You could argue that he would have been pushing a lot of players for a starting role on this team. I think good business for Diaby. I think Moussa Diaby, I think it's good business. The French international, former Bayern Leverkusen player for £48 million. Even at that price, 48 million is a lot. 47.5, I think it was, but 40. We'll call it 48. Let's move on to Pau Torres. I think Pau Torres has been a good signing for them. About 32 million pounds for Pau Torres. How you guys feel about Pau Torres? I don't think he's a coin toss. I think he's played well. I think he's contributed. He's been a real difference maker in the sense of the reason why they've been playing well. I think he's good business again. Yeah. Are we going to put him in as a good business? But let me make sure. Did I put him in? Yeah, I put him in there. Good business, borderline signing out the window. I think definitely good business, though. How about for Nicolo, the Italian, Zaniolo, Galatasaray. He was a loan, but he is. I think I'm going to say coin toss on Nicola. How you guys feeling about this player? I didn't think I'm trying to remember I'm trying to remember his performance against us, to be honest with you. Let's see. Nicola. I right now have him at coin toss. I think that's a safe bet, right? I think that's a safe bet to put him as a coin toss. No risk transfer. Okay. Hot and cold. Okay. Yeah, no risk transfer. I mean, yeah, I get it. He is a loan. Hot and cold. Yeah. So if he's hot and cold, that means like I'd say I'm gonna put him as a coin toss then. I'm gonna put him as a coin toss. Hot and cold. So he's good, he's bad, he's good, he's okay. I'm gonna keep him at I think it's okay to put him as a coin toss. I think how about for Tillemans, Yuri Tillemans, from the Belgian international from Leicester. He's a free. Obviously, didn't cost any money to get, but was on a team that was being a relegated team. Obviously, Leicester City went down. I think it's been a disappointing year for him. Actually, I definitely think that it's difficult. Hope you kept the receipts. Yeah, I think he's been like borderline. Hope you kept the receipt, if not mid AF. I mean, he's been a disappointment this year. The only benefit, maybe, Brian, is that there is no receipt, considering that he's a free. I know that's semantics. I know by myself, my own wording, but like he's been really a disappointment this year. Oh, he's got big wages. Yeah. I'll put him as hope you keep the receipt. I get you guys put mid. I saw mid AF from Red for Life. Okay. KJ doesn't think he's been really that bad at all. I just think he's been disappointing in the sense of like, he's got an opportunity to make a difference. He's been a player that could have done something this year. He's kind of been like kind of vanilla when it comes to not necessarily being like a standout player this year. He says, KJ is saying he just hasn't stood out. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. He says he just hasn't stood out and had a slow start. Okay. So, all right. So let's go. Let me add them up. Brian has, I hope you keep the receipts. Red for Life has him as mid AF. So that's 1-1. KJ, I'm assuming you have him as mid AF. I personally do have him as hope you kept the receipts as well. The villains are happy with him now compared to the start of the season. Okay. Yeah. Oh, whoa. Good business? No. KJ, come on, man. Good business? I could give you maybe mid AF. Good business? No, man. I don't know about that. I just think that he doesn't put I think he needs to work on his fitness, and that translate unfortunately to a lot of people as being lazy. But I mean, like, I just think he needs to really work on his fitness is always been a problem for him. And I think that's the reason why. I get it. He's a free. I get you. And he's no risk. I had to keep him at mid AF though. We all there's a lot of mid AFs. Well, a couple of us had him as hope you kept the receipt. But yeah, I got to keep him as mid AF at best. Okay, let's move on though. Move on to our unfortunate. Oh man, I can't even tell you the news I read earlier today makes me hate this team that much more. The 115, oh man, I just can't stand this team simply for the fact that they just, oh goodness. I'll bring this up in a second, but okay. So Vardial, I thought Vardial being at 77 million pounds was good business for them in that I know that they're looking for 90 million pounds for him. But I don't know if you guys think of that or not. He was one of my top signings for this year in the sense of of a player that I wanted to get. I thought that by getting him, we could obviously provide some real center back depth, and also we would have gotten a player that obviously loves Liverpool. He obviously doesn't love Liverpool that much because he went to City, but I think that Vardial hasn't been a signing of the window type signing, but I think he's good business. I think, unfortunately, he is good business. I'm just going to put him in the back, though. Yeah. Oh, I know. The 115. Their fans are deluded. I mean, that's what happens when you've been like getting served steak dinner the same way. They have like Chelsea level delusion in City for the City fans. How about for Kovacic? Mateo. How about for Mateo? The Chelsea outcast at 25 million pounds for him. He's a fellow Croatian. How are you feeling about Kovacic? I think Kovacic has been either good business or, 25 million is not a lot. Mateo proves he serves the duty of what they need, but coin toss or is he a coin toss or good? Mid AF? Okay. Receipts. Wow. Okay. Goes to show you what I know. Mid AF, keep the level says Red for Life has him as dog. We'll just say dog excrement. Receipts. I have no problem bringing him down to hope you kept the receipts on him. Mid AF, yeah, bum that guy. I could care less about Kovacic. He could hang out with Kai Havertz and hope he kept the receipts. All right, we're rounding around the bend here. Doku's an obvious. I think that's an easy scoring, good business. Would we say he's a possible signing of the window? Yeah, I could put him up there. He's definitely before Pau Torres. And Mateus Nunes. I think Mateus Nunes has been a disappointment. I would say Mateus, hope you kept the receipt or mid AF. Hope you kept the receipt or mid AF. Good business. Mateus is okay. So wait, keep it level. Is good business. Is that for Mateus Nunes? How do you guys feel about Mateus Nunes? I think Mateus Nunes is I wouldn't go as far as coin toss. I think Nunes has been mid. I think he's below average. I think he's been mid AF. I'm with Brian on that one. KJ has good business. Interesting. Why do you, KJ, if you want, you can lighten it. Says another one who started slow, but City fans saying he's starting to show his qualities. So yeah, I feel you. 62 million euros. Oh, okay. Good business for Doku. I got you. Yeah, for sure. I'm down with that. I think mid AF is good for Red for life. Yeah, keep it level. Mid. Yeah. I see your good business rating, but the mid AFs have it. I'm gonna go with mid AF on Nunes. This is the fun part, people. This is the fun part. How are we looking at our buddy Dom? So we're looking at Dom. I thought Dom was an excellent. I think it was good business. I think that's why I know I'm being biased. I know that he's had a little dip in form. There was an argument that he could have been a signing of the year, obviously a signing of the window type, or one of the signings of the windows. I think he's been great business. I think he's got incredible like what do you call it? Like not upscale, like he's got incredible promise. There's an incredible player there, but he's probably a great business plus. Okay. I think he's borderline signing of the window. And how about for McAllister? I thought McAllister, for the price tag that we got him for, I know he's playing out of position in the sense of that he's not. We wanted to see him as an 8, but we're watching him play as a 6. But he's done work there. Hasn't been a real negative for us. I think Macca was good business. I wouldn't go signing of the year. I'm gonna put it next to James Milner. But I think he's been good business. Let's go on to Gravenberch. Yeah, good business for McAllister. Gravenberch. How about for Gravenberch? Ryan Gravenberch. How are we feeling about Gravenberch? All things said, I thought Gravenberch was good business. Now, I know that his form and him finding his game and everything else has been questionable. Are we saying coin toss? Are we saying coin toss for Grava, or are we saying it's good business? This is going to be difficult. He's low good business, yes. Like he's like borderline, because he hasn't had the form, he's borderline in coin toss. But because he was a 34 million pound player, or 35, he's basically a 35 million pound player, basically. He's got such promise. He shows glimmers of it. But and again, he could be good business. It could be all right. So far, wow. Okay. So far we got Grava is good business from Brian. Coin toss by keep it level. KJ's got him at good business. Ref for Life's got a coin toss. Wow. You kind of forget that he's 21. You do. You kind of forget that he's only 21 years old. But Ref for Life is saying, Grabber's a coin toss. I'm not hating. I really like him, and I think he is good, but give him to the end of the season, and hopefully he becomes good business. Yeah, I know. Thank you. Thank goodness. I know. If we had gotten Darwin this year, this ranking would go on forever. I agree with Brian. Let's see too. Let's see. He's only young. I think he will probably come good. Yeah, man. I agree with you guys. I'm gonna put him here in good business, but I'm gonna put him at the bottom portion of it. I'll put him at like the latter stages of it because I don't think that I think his play has been okay, not great. I think that he's had times when he's played really well, and he's had times when he's played really poor. And it's just the fact that some of us, because he's played at Ajax, because he's playing at Bayern Munich, I guess we automatically think that he should be at a certain level, that he's so young at being, I mean, like, he's like a Harvey Elliott, like Harvey Elliott's so young, and people, because we've seen him for Harvey Elliott for a couple of years now, we put him up there. So you know what it is. Big up, Philly Liverpool FC. I see you, brother. I hope you're well. Hope Philly's treating you well, brother. Last but not least, Endo. Endo is going to be great business, guys. I mean, Endo's my guy. Endo's a lot of our guy, actually. A lot of our guy. I think great business, considering we spent $16 million for a player that's now arguably one of the like better sixes, one of the best sixes in the league right now. Has definitely rounded into form. Is a player for considering, this guy has done some really, really, had a really tough sledding to get his form, get his shape and everything else. But hey, man, I think Endo has been a great signature for us. It's good. I know people are going to say, "Oh, you're being biased and favored by saying he's a signature of the year type candidate." But hey, it is what it is. All right, so out of these signings, I'm going to go through these real fast because I don't think any of these guys here are on that signing. So I'm going to make it real simple. Cole Palmer, just give me a 1 if you think Cole Palmer is a signing of the window, or a 2 that you're just cool with him staying in good business. Okay? And then so we're going to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to go through 9 players real quick. Okay? So Cole Palmer, 1 or 2. 1. I think Cole Palmer's a safe bet. Kudus, 1, 2. Should Cole Palmer be bumped up, or is Kudus a bump up or a leave where he's at? I think Kudus has been a 1. I think he's been a signing of the window for them. 2. Oh, I got Red for Life. That's for Cole Palmer. I got you on that one. Okay. Philly Liverpool FC has him as a 2, as a 1. I have Kudus as a 1 as well. Yeah, Kudus as a 1. James Ward-Prowse, I think safe to say James Ward-Prowse a 1, right? I think he's been a signing of the season for them. Make sure you see this. Let's say James Madison, that's an easy 1. Pedro Porro. Are we saying Pedro Porro is Pedro Porro a 1 or a 2? Like, is he signing of the window? Oh, James Ward-Prowse a 2. That's very interesting. What would we say for Pedro Porro? Porro's a 2. Yeah, bun him 2 for 2. You're gonna have some Spurs coming. You guys gonna have some Spurs looking for you guys. Pedro Porro 2. I got you. I think Cardio is a signing of the season for them, or a signing of the window for them. Doku. Are we saying Doku is a signing of the season for? I think Manchester United lucked out on Doku. Are we going to go as far as signing of the window for them for Doku? Is that too much praise for the player? Tell me, Doku's got a 2 from Brian. Okay, I can move him right back down. No problem with that. A 2 from Philly Liverpool FC. Okay. 2 it is. 2 from Keep It Level. 2 it is. Good business for them, but not a signing of the window. How about for Dom? Is Dom a signing of the window, or is Dom just good business? Is Dominic Szoboszlai a signing of the window, or is Dominic Szoboszlai a just good business? 1 from Philly Liverpool FC, a 2 from Brian. Okay, that's what I like. Brian doesn't hold any punches. He's cool with being very, very non-discriminative when it comes to his ratings. 2 KJ, 2 from Dom. Sorry to say it, brother. Good business. Hey, you stick in good business. All good. Stick in good business. By the end of the season, he could be a 1 from Red for Life. I agree with you on that. Endo. Is Endo a 1 or a 2, people? This one's going to be a fun one to see what we say about Endo. Endo, is he a 1 or a 2? Does he get a signing of the window? Because a lot of people were scratching their heads in the beginning of the year for that signing. A lot of people were angry that we signed Endo. A lot of people were disappointed that we signed Endo, simply because we were in the running for, Caicedo, and we were in the running, obviously, for Lavia. Let's see what we have for Endo. Red for Life has Watoto-san as a 1.5. Brian has Endo at a 2. KJ has 2 with the potential to be number 1. Philly Liverpool FC has him as a 1. KJ says, I was slated for saying he's going to be a good signing for us. KJ, trust me, I was right there with you. I sent Kopish a player review, scouting report that I personally did on him, through research and everything else. I was saying how this player is going to fit the criteria of what we need and da-da-da-da-da. I'm right there with you. That Keep Level says, I say 1, he proved me wrong. Brilliant play. Brilliant piece of business by Norbert. I got you. We got to have one signing. We got to have at least one signing. There's got to be at least one signing of the window for us as a Liverpool red. As a red, we got to have at least one signing in there as signing of the window. We got to have at least one signing. Come on, guys. I'm gonna do an executive decision here, and I'm gonna bring him up as one of the signings of the window so far. I'm Endo hasn't let me down. He's playing well for Japan right now. I think this is safe to say. Endo has had a better season than Rice. I agree with you on that. I think Endo outperformed Rice in the Arsenal match, whether in the FA Cup or at Anfield. So yeah. Salah's taking corners for Egypt. Jesus Christ. Anyway, yeah. So that's what it looks like it's going to be. This is the table. This is the signings of the year so far for the top half of the table. I think we did a good job, guys. So far the signings of the window are Cole Palmer, Kudus, JWP, Madison, Vicario, and Endo. A lot of good business out there. A lot of good business. I think we had possibly you'd pick Dom over Brian. Brian said he would pick Dom over Endo for if we had to put one signing. So I think we had one signing of the window. We definitely had one signing of the window, I think, because I know it's a collective and everything else, and I know that collectively we've made it. We've seen a progress with our midfield, but I think one of the biggest components of that midfield was us finding a number 6, and also us finding a player that was going to play on that right side. Considering that we've had an emergence of a player profile in Cujo on that left number 8. So there really wasn't much room for any of these players to get into the fold when it comes to competing. But I think we had a good window for us personally. If you look at this, I think we had the best window out of all the teams, to be honest with you. Refly says, hard to choose. I want Mo to do well and boost his confidence even more, but want him home early at the same time. Okay. And Brian saying, Dom earlier in the season was better than the best of Endo in the recent games. Yeah, I get you. He says just his pick. I get you on that one. I certainly get you on that. Dom was exceptional in the beginning of the year. He was exceptional. That's why I have him right at the border of getting into signing of the window. I personally think that he's a signing of the window, to tell you the truth. He is one of the signing of the window candidates for certain. I think he could be a signing of the window, considering he was like really firing on all cylinders in the beginning of the year. A lot of what the rigors of what we expect from him has put a little bit of baggage on him and everything else. But you know what? Fun episode, fun, good times. We're at the 90. We're coming up on the 90-minute mark here. I know I said something about I always get his name wrong. So let me see if I can pull up the player reference. But yeah, there was reports that that Napoli, if they don't re-sign this player, there are reports that Napoli possibly might be what was his nickname? Kavitschka. What's Kavitschka's nickname? I forget his nickname, but because his last name is so hard to pronounce. Kvartashelli. Yeah, KK. I'm just calling him KK. There's reports that KK is Kavara. Kavara, I think. I'm just going to call him KK. Yeah, I'm talking about KK. There's been reports that Manchester City are Kvaradana. Yeah, Kvaradana, that's the one I've heard of. There's been reports, I'm not trying to end on a really bad note, but there's been reports that, and I'm repeating this only because I mentioned it earlier when we were in the City portion, but there's been reports that Kvaradana, KK, is if there's going to be a team that he's going to go to in the Premier League, he has put it out there. His agent has put it out there that he prefer to go to Manchester City as his team of choice. He obviously has Real Madrid, he has Barcelona, and he has also Bayern Munich in that list. He's looking for a new deal, and that's just something I read recently. It's something that's kind of annoying to see. I hate the 115 so much. But anyway, let's leave on a good note. He is a special player for sure. I would love to. I've said that I would love to see him play for our team. I would love to see him be a Red, and I think he'd do well as a Red. Actually, I think he'd do well as a Klopp disciple, to say the least. I think he would definitely do well as a Klopp disciple. But I'd rather have Kubo as well. I do want to have Kubo. I want Kubo to play on our squad too. It's definitely it's a coin toss to say who you'd prefer to have. Both are very young. I know Kvaradana, as Brian has put in, or KK is 22, I think 21, 22 years old. Great player. But yeah, keep a level saying he ain't going to City. They have Doku and they have Grealish at left wing. I'm not saying that it's a guarantee. And then he's saying keep level saying I can't see him joining Bayern at all either. I'm just reporting what his manager or agent put it out there, that those are the teams those are the only teams at current form or current position that he's interested in going into. But all the same, it is what it is. I'm going to be ending it here. I'm going to be also doing another guest episode with I'm going to be doing another guest episode with GTV. They're about to start up right now. So if you want to hop over, make sure that you said that this is part of the raid, the Liverpool, this is the 12th man raid or something like that, if you guys do want to go and hang out with GTV, I know that it's going to be an interesting conversation, because how I get how I get sometimes with my football romanticism, all the same, but all good, all the same. But thank you for joining me today. Fun time today. Thank you for this. Oh, before I leave, please do join me tomorrow. I'll be on again, 7 p.m. UK time. I think tomorrow is going to be even I think it's going to be an even more fun show than today. If you read the description, it'll help you with the game that I made up is going to work. Basically, I'll explain in full in the beginning of the episode, but it's going to be a really fun game tomorrow. It's kind of like I call it the swap shop, or in America we have things called swap meet. It's kind of like you can trade and you can do stuff. And basically, quick synopsis of it is going to be, for instance, I know people are saying Isaac and Nunez, for instance, right? So if Isaac's the player that you wanted, we're gonna go to one team. So for Tottenham, for instance, for Newcastle, for instance, you can pick one player from Newcastle, and let's say it's Isaac is your player that you want to pick, then you can say, okay, I want Isaac, but that means you have to swap him out for Nunez. That means it's all swap deals. It's all transfer swap deals. So if you say you want Isaac, that means he has to go in for Nunez, and now that's the player for the team. So basically, it's like a sport. You're going to be playing sporting director for whichever club you want to choose. If you're representing Liverpool, cool. If you're representing Newcastle, cool. But it's going to be a fun game, to say the least. It's going to be a very fun game, to say the least. And I'll explain a little bit more thoroughly tomorrow, but we're going to go through all the teams. We're going to go through it, and you can only pick one player. And there's no, and once you pick a player and you swap them out, that's that with that player. So yeah, it should be a fun time, fun game. Yeah, tomorrow it's at 7 p.m. tomorrow. So 7 p.m. UK time, Philly Liverpool FC. That's going to be 3 p.m. your time, East Coast time, 3 p.m. East Coast time in America. But it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a real fun game. We're going to go from all the teams, relegation teams, all the way up until we get to our own actual team, whichever team we're representing. Okay. So therefore, if you want to play sporting director for Arsenal, cool. If you want to play sporting director, I'm going to try to reach out to a lot of people to get a good sample size of sporting director for many teams. But yeah, it's going to be a fun panel, going to be a fun game. It should be pretty cool. It's a kind of a cool game, cool concept game that I came up with. So should be fun. But all right, GTV is about to start. Please do, if you guys hop over to GTV Football, cool. Just say you're part of Liverpool 12th man raid here. Other than that, if you got other things to do, hope that you have a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right. Thank you for joining me. And you'll never walk alone always. So I'll see you guys either in a bit or tomorrow.